Hi everybody, Geraldine Rose here with video almost 100. This one's got Mica, Crackle, paste and stencils. This set of cards were from a challenge where I was invited to be the guest designer. I thought, well, you better not throw all your kitchen sink craftery at them, just keep them clean and simple. So that's why they are not quite my usual style. I wanted to highlight the technique of when you use a translucent crackle paste over top of a mica and oxide spray, and it will bring the colors up and cause some really neat effects. You need a flower with a lot of real estate. So I wanted to use lilies as my base. That meant the Honeybee Lovely Layers Easter Lily and also the Stamptember collaboration between Altenew and Simon Says Stamp with that particular lily set. So I've die cut them out. I've put them down in my splatter box. I have done oxide sprays on them. I've done the mica sprays on them. Once they've dried, it's time to bring in the All in Create Lots of Hearts stencil, the Ranger Distress Crackle paste. I use the translucent because it will dry clear, and as it crackles, you will get a change slightly in the tone of the mica and oxide sprays underneath. I've got the petals down. I couldn't fit them all under at once, so I'm going to do it in 2 stints. I did try arranging the petals so that the hearts were going the right way up on the petals that went upward, and the petals that went downward, that the hearts were upside down. They didn't all work out like that, but I tried. 2 of the background panels were heat embossed, one in gold, one in white embossing powder, which meant getting out the rabbit tool and making certain that that powder wasn't going to stick anywhere that we didn't want it. The Stamptember collaboration, Beautiful Lilies between Altenew and Simon Says Stamp, as aforementioned, is the one I'm using for these. The 3rd panel, I just used a gold ink on it, and I let that pigment ink dry. You know how you can have a monochrome theme for colors? Well, this is kind of a monoflower theme for the flowers, that it's got lilies all through it. And the thing I like about lilies is because they've got such a connection to spirituality and like cultural traditions. I pulled the yellow ones in because I know the others are more linked to like rebirth and renewal, especially Easter ones, but yellow ones can also represent happiness and friendship and gratitude. And I wanted to apply that to these particular cards. Well, the die cut should be ready now that they've had their second chance to go through a drying cycle, this time with the paste. You'll be able to tell that the pastes are dry because instead of being milky white, they'll be clear and they will not be tacky to the touch. So we're going to augment the edges there just by brushing a little ink around the outside of the flowers and start gluing them together. Lovely Layers, the Honeybee ones, they actually have the layering guides on their website if you want to download them. But it's pretty easy because there's always one part of the petal that will stick over top of the other petals. Card number 1, we'll first ink one of the sub-sentiments from that stamp package directly onto the back panel. And then I also got out the Sizzix Thanks. This one I am doing blotchy tones of yellow and oranges to match what's happening with the flowers. Die cut it out. Then I used the Pink Fresh, the Folk Edge die cut, and then I ran it through the Spellbinder's sweater embossing folder to get texture on it. On the little frame that's around the outside, I am adhering just a little bit of foil on there, and that's going to bring the green in that particular color challenge needed, that they wanted me to have to demonstrate to everybody else. I am setting those flowers down. The embellishments that we used for this card were the Pink Fresh Ombre Drops. Tacking a couple of those down into place. That is card number 1. Sorry, sometimes when I'm just trying to be so serious and sound so serene and, teacherly, I think I sound like the Charlie Brown teacher just droning on like, wah, 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 wah. It all sounds the same. Anyway, card number 2 used the Close to My Heart, the Face Palm stamp set. It had the Swiss Dots embossing folder for its texture. It as well used the Pink Fresh, the Ombre Glitter Drops, but it also had the Open Studio Fairy Drops on it. And it was the one that used the gold embossing powder on the background lilies for it. Card number 3 was the one that had the gold ink in the background. It's another one that's a sympathy card, so it has the penny black sympathy sentiments on it. I ran it through the Ribbon Waves embossing folder. I die cut out the edges with, I think it was the rounded and braided die set frames. I put some twine around it to go along with the lines of that Ribbon Wave embossing folder. It was the one that got the gold half pearls on it, as well as some Ranger liquid pearls in the spots where lilies sometimes have their little dots. Here we are, another set of video files cleared off the hard drive. All right, finished cards with the gorgeous yellow and orange tones with the Crackle paste over top of it that gives that texture on top of the flowers. So you have a little few surprises to look at, but they're still clean and simple. You all be that change you want to see in the world. Thanks for watching so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.